What's up, everybody? BobbyFoster here. So today on this Foster the Knowledge podcast, there's so many people that make comments and ask about where the talent has gone in the industry. Where's all the talent? The music industry used to be super talented. Talent's not there anymore. What's going on? So I felt like I would take this episode to talk about that because I think I have quite a few thoughts on the matter, honestly. So if you haven't liked this episode, go ahead and hit that follow and that like button, depending on what platform you're watching or listening on. Let's go on this music journey together. First off, the first controversial thing I want to say is that I don't think the music industry has ever been full of talent. What I mean by that is I don't think talent has ever been the thing in the forefront with the industry, the thing that labels and everything wanted out of artists. It was never talent. It's always been money. I think what happens when people look back and they're like, wow, look at all this talent. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Whitney Houston. Look at Mariah Carey. These are all legends that have made timeless music. So, of course, when you look back on the best music of an era, it's gonna be good music. But there's plenty of artists from their eras that did not make good music and has not stood the test of time. You know what I'm saying? So, when we look back to the 2000s, people were saying that, people were not talented then either, but we see the classics that have stayed. That's the way it's going to be with the 2010s as well. It's what it's going to be with the 2020s. That's just how it works. The good music lasts. So you have a biased lens when you look back and you're looking at all of these legends of the time. And so I think that's the real important thing here is honestly money. Money is why talent is not at the forefront of the industry. Execs and all these people don't care about talent. They want to make money back on their investment in these artists. It's simple as that. Which begs the question, and this is a question I've been asking myself, where's the line where art becomes a product, right? If you're making your art just to sell it, you're not making art, you're making a product in my mind. I know that's another controversial statement, but that's just how I see it. If your end goal is to sell something, that's a product, right? And so I think that's where the art has died down throughout time in the music industry because the priority is to always make money. That is the goal. Now, it may not be the goal for the artist, right? But at the end of the day, the artist has to go pay back the people that have given them their advance, their loan, you know what I'm saying? And so to them, money is the most important thing. And this isn't even just music, right? This is Hollywood. You'll see so many examples of this where, screenwriter has the script ready, right? But then during the process of making the movie, the corporate suits are like, no, you can't do this idea. This isn't going to make us money. We see that all the time, right? And once again, all comes down to money. But I will say the artists that do last all have something in common, right? I think the artists that last throughout generations have found a very unique way of being able to merge their talent and making money off of their talent. Those are the artists that last, right? Now, that's not easy to do. It is not easy to always showcase your talent and make money off of it, right? That's a hard balance. That's not easy to do. And that's why there's only a few people that really succeed and last by doing that. We see so many people that are supremely talented that will never make it in the industry, right? And then we see people that aren't talented at all that will make it in the industry, but their music may not last. It may just be a hit for the moment. And make no mistake, money definitely influences art, right? A great example right now is this trend of deluxe albums. Now, deluxe albums have always been a thing. It's always been like giving fans extra music, but it's changed lately in this streaming era. Now, deluxe albums are coming out, for the purpose of just having more songs to be on the project to stream. Because right now, the more songs you have on an album, the more likely that a song could be put on a playlist, which will be good for the album. And it's a singles game now. So you got to see every single song on your album as a potential single. And we see that in how these albums are formulated now. There's a lot of albums that don't even have album cuts. It's basically like an album is just a playlist of singles trying to get on a playlist. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's not about, I mean, if you want staying power, you need the radio, but it really is about getting on these playlists. And so even the way people are formulating their art, as in their albums, is affected by how they can make money. I also think if you follow the paper trail, you'll find another reason as to why talent isn't in the forefront, which is branding. Now, artists have always had to brand, right? Once again, that's nothing new. However, it has shifted because now the power of branding is in the artist's hands. Before, it was in like the label's hands. It was in how many interviews can I get my artist? How many magazines can I get my artist on? How many TV shows can I get my artist on? But now it's like, can I blow up on Instagram? Can I blow up on TikTok? Can I blow up on Twitter? And that's like way more in the artist's hands. And so what we're seeing right now is this influx of artists that are blowing up because of their brand in the first place, right? So like the brand is more important than the music. We're seeing this everywhere. I really feel like Cardi was one of the first people to do that, where her brand was so big on social media and then she started making music too and it blew up. Right. But it was really that Cardi brand. Like everyone thought she was so funny and all this kind of stuff. And she was going viral all of the time, which so you have like her brand up here as the umbrella. And then it was like the music was underneath the brand. The music didn't necessarily make the brand bigger. I feel like at the beginning, it was like her brand that was making her music bigger. And I feel like now you see that kind of all over the place. Right. People blowing up, becoming artists based off of their brand on social media. And once again, I was saying, if you follow the paper trail, this is another reason why talent isn't necessarily at the forefront, because a lot of money comes from branding. A lot of artists will get way more money from sponsorships than they will from their streams, especially in this wave of everyone wanting to be independent, right? It costs so much money up front to go tour. A lot of independent artists can't tour like that. And that's where like mainstream artists get a bunch of their money is from touring. So where do these independent artists get money from? Branding. But it's not even just independent artists. Look at Saweetie. I feel like she's a perfect example right now of like she is just banking in on sponsorships and branding, right? I feel like every month she comes out with a new sponsorship. And as she should, as an artist, that's where the money is. And so like, honestly, it is more important to have a good brand now. As far as like, if you want to feed your family, you want to make some money, it's more important to have a good brand now than to make good music, honestly. And like, if your music can feed into your brand, that's even better for you right there too. Like it's switched, right? And I feel like that's where people are kind of feeling a disconnect with the music, honestly. That's where I'm feeling a little disconnect with the music. Once again, like I was saying at the beginning, when you look back and you're just looking at all of these legends all the time and say, oh yeah, the Mariah Careys are gone, the Michael Jacksons are gone. I don't think that's true. Like we have legends that have grown through the 2010s. You know what I'm saying? We got the Kendricks, the Taylor Swifts, the Drakes, the Nickies. You look at that 2000s, you got the Eminem, you got the 50 Cents, you got the Kanye West. I mean, legends exist. Everyone always thinks that music is always on a downfall. I feel like every generation, you know, the old heads always look at the new generation and they're like, oh man, everything's falling off. No, that's not true. It's just different. I feel like nostalgia goes a long way. I think the music that inspires you, that you listen to in your formative years, always feels like the best kind of music to you because it really touched your heart, right? And you have like these kind of idols and these musicians that mean a lot to you in your formative years. So no one's ever gonna, you know, match that. You know what I'm saying? But the talent is still here. It just looks a little different. You know what I'm saying? The talent is still here, and there's going to be artists that are popping off from the 2020s that are going to be legends as well, that are very talented. Like, that's going to happen. So I don't think the industry is any less talented. However, I will say where we are right now with music is a very saturated place due to the ease of entry into the industry now. Like, anyone can put a song up on Spotify and promote it on TikTok and Instagram. So you're getting a whole bunch of artists. Like, this could never happen before. Labels wouldn't give out as many contracts as there are artists now, you know what I'm saying, that are getting the spotlight due to the ease of entry into the industry. And so from a percentage level of all total artists, it may seem like the talent's gone, but it's not. It's really not. There's just so many artists right now. If anything, there's probably more talent out there because of how many artists there are, just like, maybe not percentage wise, but just in total. But it's also very hard to get, as easy it is to get spotlight, it's way harder to keep the spotlight now because of how many artists are coming in. You could lose your spot at any given time right now because there's so many people with the chance to blow up right now, right? And yeah, so I really feel like the key is if you can find a way to merge your talent in a way of also making money, that's the golden spot to be in. I feel like an example of this is Kendrick Lamar, right? Kendrick has found a way to somehow make what I guess people would call conscious rap, I put that in quotes, and also mainstream at the same time. Like, he's really successful commercially. His last album, Damn, was the best-selling album of the year across all genres, right? And that's unique. That's different. It's not normal for artists to stay so close to their heart of what their intentions of their art, of what they want their art to be, and also sell that well. Like, that's not really that normal. That's why it's so legendary that he's doing that. And it's really hard to do. I feel like Adele is another example where she doesn't really make what you would see to be pop mainstream music, yet it's like the best selling albums ever, in this generation. And so it's not easy to do. And I feel like that's part of what creates a legend, is making such genuine art and still being able to sell it. So where did the talent go? I don't think the talent went anywhere. I feel like we have a biased view when we look backwards and we compare legends to just everyday artists of our time. I think it's hard to see in the present moment a legend in the making. Sometimes it's easy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like an artist will come out in their debut. It's just like so legendary. It's just a moment. You know what I'm saying? The Lauryn Hills, the 50 Cents, once again, the Kendrick Lamars, the Nicki Minaj's, all these people with just extremely good debuts, right? We're seeing that from like Billie Eilish right now, Olivia Rodrigo, these really, really good debuts, Lil Nas X. But even then, right, legends persist, you know what I'm saying? So even if you have a great debut, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a legend, right? Like, you got to do it again, and you got to do it again and again and again and again, right? And that takes time. So when you're asking where the legends are at, you have to really look 10 years back. You know what I'm saying? And if you look 10 years back, you can obviously see who the legends of music are today. You know what I'm saying? From the people that came out in 2010, 2011, you can see who has had the longevity, And so you can't say the talent is gone, and you can't say the talent is gone in 2021 and be looking at artists in 2021. It takes time for music to settle into the soul. These albums that have come out in 2021, we really won't know their true impact till like 2023, 2024. Are these albums gonna last a couple years, a few years? You know what I'm saying? And I'm a reactor, I'm a reviewer, and I react to these albums, a couple days after they come out or whatever. But that's just a first reaction. That's not a real thorough review. You gotta wait. You gotta have time to let the album digest. And right now, I'm just talking about music, but even when you look at performances, for example, people are like, oh man, performers don't do it like they used to. And if you were to take, any one given event, like if you were in that event in the year, like, say, I don't know, VMAs from like 1999 or 2000 or whatever, I don't even know when they started. Like, you may look at that and you see all the performers, and there may have been some trash performers, but now there also may be some legends in there when we look back. I think that's how it is. If you look at the VMAs of this year, there was a lot of critiques about it. But if you wait 5 years, 6 years, you may look back and be like, wow, like Doja killed that. Chloe killed that. Normani killed that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes time. The art has to stand the test of time. Like, I feel like time is an important ingredient when we measure greatness. You can't take time out of the recipe of greatness. And so I feel like a lot of these conversations are centered around the now and the present. And it's really hard. It's really hard to judge music just on a present basis and not wait to see if it stands the test of time. And honestly, I think I'm going to end on that because I feel like, even for me, just me saying that out loud, I feel like that was something to really contemplate. That's something to really contemplate, how time plays a gigantic part in what we call greatness. So I'm gonna leave y'all to sit with that. But y'all let me know what you think about this topic of if talent has disappeared or if it's here. Y'all leave some comments below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, go ahead and mention me on Twitter or TikTok. I want to hear what y'all have to say about this. I feel like this would be a great conversation to have some new perspectives on this. And once again, go ahead and follow and like the podcast wherever you are listening to it. I would greatly appreciate it. I really hope you enjoy this episode and you tune in for the next one. And until next time, I'll see y'all.